Welcome back to our channel. Salam alaikum is a greeting in Arabic that means peace be upon you. The word salam, meaning peace, has become a religious salutation for Muslims worldwide when greeting each other, though its use as a greeting predates Islam and is also common among Arabic speakers of other religions, such as Arab Christians and Mizrahi Jews, and speakers of languages with Arabic loanwords, such as the use of salam by Indian Christians who speak Hindi Urdu in the northern Indian subcontinent. It's all about spreading those good vibes and connecting with one another, you know? It's amazing how these simple phrases can create such a sense of community. Plus, it's pretty cool to think about how the Quran, just like the Torah and the Gospel, confirms these important messages that connect us all. Such a rich tradition. The third chapter of the Quran is known as Al-Imran, or the Family of Imran. This significant Medinan surah, comprising 200 verses, delves into profound themes such as steadfast faith, the critical importance of unity among believers, and the continuous thread of divine guidance throughout human history. The name, the Family of Imran, is derived directly from verse 33 of the surah itself. This verse specifically mentions the esteemed lineage of Maryam, or Mary, the mother of Isa, known as Jesus in the Christian tradition. The surah celebrates this noble family, which also includes the prophet Zechariah, and his son Yahya, John the Baptist, presenting them as exemplars of piety and devotion to God. By highlighting this family, the surah establishes a direct connection between the foundational figures of Judaism and Christianity and the message of Islam, emphasizing a shared heritage of monotheistic belief. The content of Surah Al-Imran is rich and multifaceted, weaving together narratives, theological discussions, and crucial lessons for the Muslim community. It recounts the miraculous birth and life of Maryam and her son, Isa. The surah details Maryam's unique upbringing in the temple under the care of Zechariah and the divine provisions she received, culminating in the Annunciation by angels and the virgin birth of Jesus. The narrative of Jesus' life emphasizes his role as a messenger of God, his miracles performed by God's will, and the core of his message, which was to worship the one true God. Beyond these narratives, the surah addresses the pivotal events and profound lessons learned from the battles of Badr and Uhud. It offers a detailed analysis of the Muslim community's experiences in these conflicts, particularly focusing on the setbacks encountered during the Battle of Uhud. These historical accounts are not mere chronicles. They serve as a powerful vehicle for imparting timeless moral and spiritual guidance. Key themes permeate the verses of Surah Al-Imran, offering a comprehensive framework for both individual and communal life. A central theme is the importance of community, or ummah, and the necessity of discipline and unity within it. The surah repeatedly calls upon believers to hold firmly to the rope of Allah and not be divided, warning that disunity is a path to weakness and failure. It also issues strong warnings against hypocrisy, exposing the characteristics and motivations of those who outwardly profess faith but harbor doubt or malice in their hearts. This serves as a cautionary tale, urging believers to cultivate sincerity in their faith and actions. A foundational theme is the reinforcement of faith through verses that are described as the foundation of the book. The surah distinguishes between clear, decisive verses, muhkamat, and allegorical or ambiguous ones, mutashabihat, advising believers to ground their faith in the clear principles and not to get lost in speculative interpretations of the ambiguous, which can lead to discord and deviation. Located in the third and fourth parts, or juz, of the Quran, Surah Al-Imran holds a distinguished position within the holy text. Following Surah Al-Baqarah, it continues many of the themes introduced in the preceding chapter, further elaborating on legal, social, and theological matters relevant to the nascent Muslim state in Medina. Its placement underscores its importance as a source of guidance that builds upon the foundational principles established earlier in the Quran, providing a more detailed roadmap for the community's development and its interactions with other faith traditions. The surah's presence across 2 juz also reflects the depth and breadth of its content, covering a wide spectrum of topics essential for the spiritual and practical well-being of believers. The 3rd surah of the Quran is Al-Imran, which translates to the Family of Imran. As one of the longest chapters in the Quran, its significance is underscored by its detailed content and historical context. A few key facts help to frame our understanding of this surah. It contains 200 verses and is classified as a Medinan surah, meaning its verses were revealed to the Prophet Muhammad after his migration from Mecca to Medina. This context is crucial, as the Medinan period was characterized by the establishment of the first Muslim state, interactions with other communities, and the challenges of consolidating the nascent ummah. The surah is named after the family of Imran, the father of Maryam, Mary, who was the mother of Isa, Jesus. This naming convention is not arbitrary. It signals the surah's intention to engage in a respectful and detailed dialogue, particularly with the Christian community. A primary theme of Surah Al-Imran is its address to the Christian community. It engages directly with Christian doctrines concerning the nature of Jesus, presenting the Islamic perspective with clarity and compassion. The surah affirms the miraculous virgin birth of Jesus and his role as a great prophet and messenger of God. However, it refutes the concept of his divinity, emphasizing that, like Adam, he was a human being created by God. This theological discourse is framed as a call to a common word, the worship of the one true God, without associating partners with him. This dialogue is not presented as a polemic, but as an invitation to return to the pure monotheistic faith shared by all prophets, from Abraham to Muhammad. The historical context of the surah is deeply intertwined with the early military struggles of the Muslim community. It extensively covers events related to the Battle of Badr, which was a miraculous victory for the Muslims, and the Battle of Uhud, which resulted in a significant setback. The surah uses these contrasting experiences to offer profound guidance and lessons. The victory at Badr is presented as a sign of divine support for those who are faithful and patient, while the defeat at Uhud is analyzed as a consequence of disobedience and internal weakness. By reflecting on these events, the surah provides a timeless manual on leadership, strategy, and the spiritual prerequisites for success. It teaches that victory and defeat are ultimately in God's hands, but human actions and intentions play a critical role in determining outcomes. Among its key teachings, Surah Al-Imran powerfully emphasizes the oneness of God, Allah, or Tawheed, which is the cornerstone of Islamic belief. It reinforces that all of creation is subservient to Him, and that the purpose of human existence is to worship Him alone. Alongside this theological principle, the surah stresses the importance of faith, Iman, obedience to God and His messenger, and the cultivation of discipline. It portrays a successful community as one that is not only spiritually devout, but also organized, disciplined, and united in purpose. These teachings are presented as essential ingredients for both worldly success and eternal salvation, providing a holistic guide for the believers. The surah also courageously addresses the internal challenges and weaknesses that had begun to surface within the Muslim community, which were starkly exposed during the Battle of Uhud. It serves as a spiritual and moral training ground, diagnosing the ailments of the community and prescribing the cure. It warns vehemently against greed, showing how the desire for worldly gain can lead to catastrophic consequences. It cautions against disunity and internal strife, highlighting how these factors can undermine the strength of the community from within. Furthermore, it shines a light on the dangers of hypocrisy, urging believers to be vigilant against those who feign faith while working to sow discord. In this way, the surah acts as both a mirror, reflecting the community's flaws, and a map, guiding it back to the path of righteousness. The Battle of Uhud is used as a powerful case study to illustrate the severe consequences of internal weaknesses. The surah provides a detailed analysis of the battle, highlighting the specific moment when a group of archers, who had been commanded by the Prophet to hold their position under all circumstances, abandoned their posts. Their decision was motivated by the desire to collect the spoils of war, as they mistakenly believed the battle had been won. This act of disobedience, driven by a momentary lapse in discipline and a focus on worldly gain, created a vulnerability that the enemy swiftly exploited, turning the tide of the battle against the Muslims. This narrative reinforces a crucial lesson. Seeking material gain by abandoning divine guidance and disobeying the Prophet's command inevitably leads to failure and hardship. The surah uses this painful memory not to condemn, but to educate, transforming a military defeat into a profound spiritual victory for future generations. The surah reflects deeply on the lessons from both the Battle of Badr and the Battle of Uhud, presenting them as two sides of the same coin. The victory at Badr demonstrated that success is a gift from God, granted to those who rely on Him, remain steadfast, and are united in their cause, even when they are outnumbered and outmatched. It was a testament to the power of faith over material strength. Conversely, the setback at Uhud showed that even with divine promises of support, internal weaknesses such as disobedience, disunity, and the pursuit of worldly desires can lead to severe setbacks. The surah teaches that God's help is conditional upon the believer's own state. It emphasizes that while ultimate victory comes from God, the community must fulfill its part of the covenant by remaining disciplined, obedient, and purified of internal ailments. Beyond the lessons from battles, Surah Al-Imran reaffirms several other key topics central to the Islamic worldview. It powerfully restates the core belief in monotheism and the continuity of divine revelation. The surah presents the Quran as the final and complete message, in a long chain of revelations sent to humanity through a succession of prophets. It is described as a confirmation of the truths contained in previous scriptures, like the Torah and the Gospel, while also serving as a guardian and corrective over them. This theme establishes the universality of the divine message and positions Islam not as a new religion, but as the culmination of the one true faith preached by all of God's messengers. Furthermore, the surah places a strong emphasis on the establishment of justice and the cultivation of discipline within the community. It teaches that a just society is a prerequisite for a strong and stable community. Justice must be applied consistently, without prejudice, even if it is against oneself or one's own kin. This is complemented by a call for individual and collective discipline. The surah encourages believers to control their anger, to be patient in the face of adversity, and to be forgiving towards others. These virtues are presented not merely as personal moral qualities, but as essential pillars for building a cohesive and resilient community capable of overcoming internal weaknesses and remaining steadfast on the right path. Finally, the surah issues a critical warning against the misuse of scripture. It describes this behavior as a characteristic of those in whose hearts is a deviation. This can lead to sectarianism, conflict, and a departure from the clear foundational principles of the faith. The surah advises the believers to ground themselves in the clear and decisive verses, muhkamat, and to entrust the knowledge of the ambiguous verses to God. This teaching really emphasizes the importance of staying humble and open-minded. It's all about protecting our community from the risks of religious extremism and division, you know? By keeping scripture as a source of guidance and unity, we can prevent it from becoming a weapon for conflict. So, let's cherish these values together. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and share with your friends.